Hello and welcome to this video on the forbidden experiments. Part 1, an introduction. Now hopefully down the track you should see some more questioning and revisiting of the so-called forbidden experiments. So firstly, what are the forbidden experiments? Well, simply this. From a period somewhere in BC to the 1500s, most experiments or anything to do with science had some overlying religious pretext, which associated with an intellectual design basis. Therefore, it was something to do with God or some higher being was involved in all of mankind's development. Now, around about the 1500s, there was a breakaway, from this line, and the church, the Catholic Church at the time, lost ground on its control of experiments. So this period here, from roughly 1500 to present day, is what we would call the forbidden experiments, because if they were conducted under the control of the church, they would not have been allowed, or any religious control. So these are the experiments from here on are now considered forbidden. Right, so let's just pause for a moment. Now we'll go to number 3, which is quite an interesting issue. There's been a current debate going on within the scientific community. It's been going on for many years now about the rise of the next intellectual maxima agenda, which is the next super intelligent person that comes along. Someone on the order of magnitude of Newton, Galileo, Pasteur, Tesla. Someone like that, Einstein, someone who will make a difference, bring in a new concept to man which will enhance mankind. And what they expected to happen, it was predicted it would happen in the 1950s, but it hasn't happened. Now, we don't know there's no reason for that, although there's been a lot of small, beyond 1950, there's been a lot of small developments and people of significance have come along. There has no one been anywhere near magnitude of Newton or Tesla. Now, to put that into perspective, I was quite shocked at the magnitude of these two people had. And when it was said to me in this way, hopefully can get this through to you of magnitude they'll have, the impact that they'll have on us and how it will change mankind or society or humanity. If we were to take Newton and stick him into present day and give him the power of just of modern day computing, the fact that he he had time to, his calculations, for example, would take him many thousands of hours just to prove his concept. So he'd come up with a concept and then he'd have to go through laborious handwritten calculations. With the slightest error could bring him back and he'd be back on recycling again and restarting again. So with modern computers, what would he be like today? And just to give him a simple smartphone, his magnitude would be magnified by 100 times. So we can't even comprehend someone of that intellectual capacity. And to put it in perspective, forget about a smartphone. I said, don't even give him a computer. Just give him like a ballpoint pen. That alone will save him thousands of hours over his lifetime, just dipping that ink into an inkwell. So hopefully that gives you some sort of concept of the magnitude of someone like Newton coming into present day with present day technology. Someone like Tesla, can't comprehend them. Now, the debate sort of goes on, well, why hasn't the rise of someone like this happened? You know, the world's population now is significantly huge. It's with order of 7 billion people on the planet. These people existed when the planet was, you know, in the orders of millions, hundreds of millions. What's going on? Why haven't we seen the rise of this intellectual maxima agenda? What do you think it is? It's the super intelligent. And the debate's going on and on. But an interesting is from this, comes back to the church and religion. And their side of the debate is that somewhere here we broke away from intelligent design in all our experiments. So we've left out some sort of intelligent design. Now, when I say intelligent design, you can pick your own interpretation. This is where you pick a god, an extraterrestrial, you know, a spaceman. For those atheists out there, you've got your own god. You've got chaos, when you can pick a non-linear an attractant. The cosmos guys, you can pick a linear attractant for your god, you know. So you can end up with evolution revolving into some higher order through some being. Now, in the 50s, they believe we hit a rock, hit this brick wall. That's where it happened. Because we haven't seen this new emergence of someone coming along to change us. Now, whatever program you plug in, we were to plug in back here into this intelligent design thing, we would have changed mankind. And this is what the religious point of view is, that we've actually broken away, and the line broke. We were actually accelerating, and then we broke. Well, this is controversial. The argument is basically we're breaking away from it, just allowed us to advance more. But that is the case. We've still hit this brick wall in the 1950s. So my concept of all this is go back and revisit one of these, any experiment along this chain here, but now let's put an intelligent design factor or spin on it. So I was sort of thinking of Foucault's pendulum. I had no idea of the magnitude of this experiment. It was held in the 1800s, and it was to prove the spin of the Earth. Now, at the time, it was incredible. It was, from the newspapers and the reports, it was bigger than the moon landing. Just the anticipation of this, the results of the experiment, was bigger than the 1969 moon landing. So, I guess that's where I'd like to come back in on, maybe an experiment down the track. My next one will be part 2, will be looking at Foucault's pendulum. So hopefully that'll give you an idea of where we're going to with these forbidden experiments. Okay, thanks very much.